Thank you, Mr Chair. Speaking to Part 1, Clauses 4 and 6, and also on the SOP in my name, I would just say that I'm happy with the wording of that SOP, sir, and the wording is very similar to legislation of other advisory bodies, such as the National Ethics Advisory Committee, the Office for Disability Issues, Advisory Committee on Assisted Reproductive Technology, and the Health Quality and Safety Commission. But, sir, what I would like to do is draw the House's attention to a letter that I received from somebody who is currently serving time in Manawatu prison. And if you allow me, sir, I'll read this letter. Hi, my name is, and he doesn't want his name to be known, I'm currently in Manawatu prison doing a 19-month sentence. I'm writing to the government about the effects of legal highs. I started legal highs about 2 years ago so I could stop smoking weed. While I was smoking weed, the only thing that made me want to stop smoking weed was to pass a drug test for my job. It wasn't any effects from it. Then I started buying legals. At the start of smoking, I would only need 1 or 2 cones, which is about the size of my fingernail, so not much at all, and then I would be completely smashed. So this happened for about 2 weeks. Then after it, I started doing nothing or close to nothing, so I started smoking more of it. Now this is where I started to notice that I needed more to get a hit, so I was buying at least 2 bags a day and smoking it all very quickly. Then I tried to stop smoking it, and this is when I noticed I couldn't. I was 100% addicted to it and was no longer smoking it for a buzz, but was because I didn't have any, I would become very angry and it was easy for me to just flip out. I was having cold sweats every night and having to run to the toilet to spew up. This went on every day and every night. If I didn't have any money, I would become nervous and lie to my family just to get $20. So now I went from smoking weed, which I was smoking ever since I was 14, and had no problems at all, to smoking this so-called legal weed, which changed my life. As for me to do anything, and I mean anything like eat, drink, go to courses, sleep, leave my house, etc., I would need to have a cone of legals, and as soon as I did, I wouldn't feel sick or anything, and could then get on with whatever it was. But it didn't last long till I needed more, and also had to live with spewing up every day and feeling like, and I'll take a little poetic license here, fecal excrement when I didn't have it. I am only one of thousands that this is happening to, and every one of my mates smoke it too, and they tell me the shops. By stopping legal highs from being available, it will stop the same things happening to them. But the thing is, we don't want to smoke it anymore, but it's so hard to stop when it's as easy as walking into a dairy and buying it over the counter. I know making it illegal won't stop it from being sold, but will make it harder to get. And it only takes up to 1 or 2 weeks of not smoking it, and you can get your life back. But the only reason I have managed to stop is that my partner died, and I had to go from her funeral, then straight to jail. Now I've been in jail for 1.5 months, and I feel super good and off legal highs. And if I never was sent to jail, I don't think I could have stopped smoking it by myself, because the craving for it is so strong. So I am begging you, please, help my family and my friends and all the New Zealanders that are stuck and don't know what to do by stopping legal highs from being sold at our shops. And I know for a fact that everyone that is addicted will be thankful and be able to get their lives back. I don't think the government actually knows how bad it is until it happens to their kids or friends. So please, get this fecal excrement banned and at least harder to get. Thank you for your time. And, sir, I think that sums it up. This is a good bill, and I support it.
Members, we come to the vote on Part 1. Before we put the Minister's amendments, I'll just explain what would happen. If the Minister's amendments are passed, then part of Mojo Mathers' amendments will be ruled out as being inconsistent. So I'm just making that point now. So the question is that the Minister's amendments to SOP 268...
Mr Chair,
a point of order, Kevin
I wonder if you could explain for the committee which parts of Mojo Mathers' SOP will be ruled out.
Sure. Well, I'd come to that at the time because some of them are still in order and some of them will be inconsistent. So I'm just making that point, but I will explain that at the time when we come to the vote on those.
Well, can I have a further point of order?
Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Chairman, your explanation could well influence our vote on the Minister's amendments. And can I just seek the indulgence of the House to ask you to do the explanation slightly prematurely?
Yeah. I sought, members, I sought advice on this matter because it has been such a possibly a contentious issue. And I just felt it was fair to the committee as a whole that we knew what the process was and what the consequences would be in terms of an affirmative vote for the Minister's amendments. If the Minister's amendment, and I'll answer the question that Kevin Haig has asked, which I think explains to the Honourable Trevor Mallard, is that in Mojo Mathers' amendments, the clauses that would be ruled out as being inconsistent would be 11A and 35. And 31. So 11A, 31 and 35. The other amendments would still be put to the vote. Honourable Trevor Mallard.
And I'm not as familiar with the bill as Kevin Haig, and he might be having a look at this as we do it, sir. But I think because the Minister's amendments are quite different and separate, they deal with different issues. There's trial periods. There's a penalty clause change in there. I think the 29 clause is something which is more technical, as is 48. But 83, I think, is a pretty. I mean, it's hard to say it's a substantive amendment, but it is a distinct amendment. And the question that I've got is whether, in fact, and I'm happy to seek the leave of I want to make the point that we're going to end up in the same place in the end, but I think, especially given the discussion, it would be a real pity if any substantive part of Mojo Mathers' amendment did not get a proper individual vote. And I'm wondering, sir, whether the House could be better served by me seeking leave for the Mathers amendment to be voted on first and dealt with, and then the Minister's amendments after that, because I think there's a general view that the Minister's amendments will, other than for that question, be supported. And I'm looking to Kevin Haig and Brendan Horan to make sure that they're. I know that people have a different view on the substance. We'll end up at the same point, but I think people will get the sense of being dealt with fairly if the Mathers amendments are put first, and I seek leave for that.
Sure. The leave to have the Mojo Mathers amendments put before the Minister's amendments are the matter for the Minister to decide. The Minister has indicated to me that he would accept that, and so we will put Mojo Mathers amendments first, and then we will go through the process of that. So, do we need leave for that? Need leave to that. The Minister has agreed. So members, then we're moving to the vote on part one, and we have the first up is Mojo's amendments to delete clause 11A as set out on SOP number 260. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it? Noes it. Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
33 in favour.
Green Party.
14 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 abstentions.
Māori Party.
2 in favour.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
Honourable Peter Dunn.
1 opposed.
Brendan Horan.
Opposed.
Members, the ayes are 51, the noes are 61, and there are 7 abstentions. The amendment is not agreed to. The question now is that the Minister's amendments set out on SOP number 268. That the amendment on 268 set out on SOP number 277 be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that the Minister's amendment set out on SOP number 268 be agreed to. As amended, be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. We now move to Brendan Horan's amendment that's set out on SOP number 271. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that Part 1 is amended stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Order.
Point of order, General Matter.
And this is me just trying to be a little bit helpful. I thought we had an indication in the House earlier that a member indicated that he wanted his vote recorded against it. And I'm just sort of reminding the National Party whips who are exercising that vote of that. Mr. Banks?
Well, it's up to the senior whip, up to the whip of the government to inform me if that's the case. It's not the case? No? Okay. We're moving members to Part 2. This is debate on clauses 12 to 45. The question is that Part 2 stand part.
Mr. Chairman.
I call Emlys Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.